Yeah.
All right.
I don't see video of this either.
She doesn't have that on right now.
Oh, it didn't? Oh.
Better last.
Can you hear us now, Cindy?
I don't, oh, there's.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
For letting us know. We even tested it this morning, so it didn't work out like it was supposed to.
Oh.
They're down in Manila area.
All right, can we
Reach
go?
out that far at least. Yeah.
Supervisor reports, Kyle.
Kind of hopefully we get back to somewhat normalcy now that the combine put in the shed and they got a haircut, so.
I see that.
Put in the shed?
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Helping your neighbors?
Oh, I did, I helped them too.
Okay.
So,
They're done now too.
yeah,
Perfect.
so. Other than, we're just sparking some interest to what's going on in the Charter Oak area. We got a bunch of flags and stuff marked out on our new property, so. Other than that, I had no meetings last week, so.
It was a good thing you got a haircut. Cousin Paul said he didn't even recognize you at the grocery
My
store.
mom didn't even recognize me. Yeah, it was one of those things that the wife said I couldn't do it, I proved her wrong. So,
Good job.
but, so other than that, no, there was a couple farmers with, in field driveways now this time of year, that asking about that, which I just referred them to our engineering office, so. Usually, they don't know they need a wider field driveway until they get there. You can only do so much, and they farming so fast and furious anymore, it's just, they're in there one day and trailers in the ditch that day, and then next day they're gone, so. No, I really not much going on for as far as that.
Greg?
Well, let's see, I guess a couple things on a personal note, kind of back to myself finally. So that's encouraging.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Yay.
feel much better. And also my oldest daughter had, grandson number 4 late yesterday evening. So
Yay.
Alan Timothy Frieders is now a member of the Iowa community.
All right. Awesome.
So, did have a Wesco meeting yesterday. We had it at the bake shop, which was very nice. I don't know if you guys have been there, but the bake shop opened September 23rd. And, they've been increasing their business on, if you want to say daily basis, but I think more and more people heard about the sandwiches that we had yesterday were excellent. So if you haven't been there, I would, recommend stopping in. One thing that's, a couple of things, I guess, that's going on with Wesco, I think I mentioned a month ago, was that they signed a contract with One Vision, kind of to have these smart living initiatives in their homes. And they're actually meeting with Wesco, looking at the first 2 homes that they're gonna try to implement this smart living, and they're gonna do that next, I think Tuesday and Wednesday. They're gonna be in town to look at the 2 homes that they're gonna be starting out with. And also with the kind of the dental issue that we have in town, and one thing that they, in coordination with our public health, is they're doing a mobile clinic. It's gonna be, they think they're gonna be here for 4 days in December. And they're actually gonna be using a facility in the basement of our new building. So I wanted you all to be aware of that. They're gonna exclusively start out doing all Wesco clients. And then if they still have time after that, let's see. It says Wesco members will be scheduled first, followed by the iSmile program. And after, if there is time, Delta Dental will work with other providers in the area to schedule others in the community who are in need of dental care and treatment. So you can see it's gonna kind of be structured where the Wesco clients first, iSmile second, if they have time, anybody from the community. But that's something that they hope to do every 6 months, is have the mobile Delta Dental clinic come to Denison.
What day is that, Craig?
It's gonna be in December. I don't think they've set the dates yet, but it's in December.
The irony of that, to get a dental office at one time, and now we're gonna have a mobile dental office.
Kind of ironic, isn't
It's a little
We'll have to move
ironic.
again.
it?
Just not set up a pharmacy.
Yeah.
The other thing, I guess, I know stepping stones is something that, is always something that's near and dear to us. And so just to give an update, it says September was a full and productive month for stepping stones as we served 11 individuals. One member successfully transitioned out to live with family after securing medical insurance, SNAP benefits, and ongoing mental health care and medication management. Another member transitioned into our residential housing after obtaining medical insurance, SNAP, Social Security, ongoing mental health and medication management, and securing stable employment. We also provided a short-term stay for 2 individuals, one for 6 days while addressing homelessness and helping re-enroll in another community program, and another person for 4 days while a residential program member required an alternative placement. Stepping Stones continues to be a vital support for our community, serving individuals referred from Job Corps, family members, Denison High School, Unity Point Recovery, Caring Hearts, Crisis Home, and other Wesco programs. September, Wesco served 193 individuals. So.
I will tell you that with Angela being down there, I have had an opportunity to go through Nova and kind of see what they all do down there. And then while Jackson was home, he went down there and the clients were all just so happy to see everybody and they like to hold hands. And it was really an experience for us to go down there. So they do great work.
Right. And we did have a new board member, Rory Weiss from DMU is a new member.
Now that he's retired and has time to do that, he'll be a good board member.
So that's encouraging. We're still looking for more. So, but we did get an extra one. Have early childhood today at noon. And that's it.
It'll be on time.
Anything with the housing, yeah, one time, they talked about changing that. How many could live in a home? Is that still kind of just
It's
being held off?
Smart home.
the original one that they purchased on 16th Street between the high school and the middle school. That one is now a 5-person. That was first approved for 4, and I think the 5-person were over that, we're past that, and it's now accepted by HHS as, 5 persons okay, and they'll pay for that, so Wesco is looking at another home here in town. So, and they're actually looking at possibly expanding into Harlan. They're looking at a home down there also. It works out pretty nice. Southwestern Iowa Transit actually comes between Harlan and Denison Monday through Sunday, every day of the weeks of transportation without condition. But I guess people from Harlan have reached out to Wesco, so we'll see how that goes.
What's gonna do?
Great news.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Great program. It's ran so well and and we used to have our region, Wesco was very highly respected, the way we run things.
Well, Marcus Reiner, the CFO, put up a stat yesterday for that in 2015. Their revenue was just over $4 million in 2025, 10 years later, it's over 12. So Wesco has grown tremendously. They're a huge part of the community and they want to be a member of the community and help out. If you look through all the checks that were written in September, I mean, the barbecue fest that they were part of, the Crawford County Fair, who they gave money to. I mean, it's just, you go down the list of them participating and wanting to be a member of the community. It's great to see. They're a
Pretty,
great asset.
pretty lucky to have Wes
Yeah.
out
We've
here.
been having Rotary down there and it's just.
Okay,
we're
yeah, I saw,
actually kind of-
at the big shop, I saw the flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice because it is a very central place to be there. We're kind of there.
And that event center, they're booking more and more people are booking that event
Addison
center.
is having her graduation there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And they're looking at having a catering menu specifically for just the event center and a special
Yeah,
menu.
every time I'm down there, they've added something new and it used to be that when you'd go down for one of the energy drinks, it would just take forever, but they've got that down to a little bit more of a science on how to get.
Well, they've got their drive-through as part of the new building. And so I know you can't see from the
That's-
the
that
drive-throughs
is-
in the alley. But I mean, it's advertised, it shows there. I think it'll be interesting when the weather gets colder, more and more people will utilize the drive-through.
I personally think they need to move their wagon, so you, because you can't really see.
Can't really
it.
see it,
I
right?
think that the wagon needs to be moved someplace until
For
people
freight.
get used to it. Well, okay, trailer wagon.
Right, I know what you meant.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
The mobile coffee unit.
Right.
To be very specific.
So that's all I have.
Gene?
Very good. It was a very, very busy week. I was on a commission for a couple of days, so I got all of it in 3 days. But we had our tour for the Wellness Center, which I could not believe how it was just a steady flow of people coming through, a lot of positive comments, a lot of questions. It's setting up real nice, and so it was a really good night to do that. And then we had our West Central Community Action. And everything is going good with them. I had to just kind of review all of this stuff, but we have their audit here, like in financial statement. I can pass that around and do well.
Say, Gene, on the West Central Community Action, I have it in my head that now that
I
the
know the answer.
new school building is open. Is originally, we kind of talked with Kim, the superintendent, about early childhood at the elementary school with those outbuildings. And because they then kind of thought that by August, they'd be in the new building. It didn't happen until later on. So I mean, timing wasn't right, but has there been any more discussion about
No.
that?
Not at
Or
this, not
anything
at this
with,
meeting.
Or Danny? No.
Not, but I can certainly find out. One of the things that was brought to my attention is I did not realize that West Central always was kind of the originator of our Goodfellows program. And so with Jody being out for a little while, they're not gonna be able to do that. So Kim has really stepped up over at Public Health to kind of facilitate that. And will be.
Are they still doing it?
Greg Miller or Greg Wheelie contacted me, and so
Okay.
everyone is working on how to.
Because Kiwanis always supports that too.
Right, so
Yeah,
they'll
that's
still
a
have
big deal.
advertising down. What the kind of problem is how with the information that Jody used to get down at West Central for qualifying for the income part of it. So Kim is working closely with that organization, and then Greg Wheelie and their board is just because we really need to see that program not be facilitated because of all the
It would
families.
affect a lot of people.
It will, and
Yeah.
as far as I know, it's all on track. I was going to try to call Greg yesterday, but I did not get to that, but I'll check in with him to make sure everybody's smooth transition. But West Central has been very helpful in making sure that what they can do with their limited staff, they're still doing. And with Kim picking it up here at Public Health, that's just really helped out a lot. So if somebody goes to the applications are online, I'm hoping to see an advertisement out in the paper here real soon to explain to people how it's going to look a little different, but it won't cut any of the services. So we tried really hard to see if West Central, but they just don't have the staff at this time to do it. So going to transition up here and do
No,
it.
I didn't mention Kim's name, but she was the one that was instrumental in getting the mobile dental clinic to
Yes,
come here. So she's also on the Wesco board.
Yeah.
Played an
Yeah.
instrumental role in handling that. So
Yeah.
kudos to her. It sounds like in multiple roles.
She's really, so this week, I decided it's time to kind of do the 1, 2, 3, what you don't have out of the old building, going once, going twice. So Kim had her staff go over and do one more check through to make sure that they had everything out of there that they can use. And so I got ahold of Zach, and he was, the lobby is now completely cleaned out. What they had in there were some, like it had a toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, towel, blanket, things like that for emergencies. Zach and his crew came and took all of that. I guess they're storing it down where the boat is in that boat shed. And then he found a triage, stand that was like brand spanking new. It was like Christmas for him when he found it, because he was thinking about ordering one and he found one down there, so it was a good day. So what, I did talk to Terry, so the county, I don't know if they haven't gone through yet, you don't think?
I'll put something out to the department
Okay,
heads,
okay,
so
yeah.
that way I don't know who's interested in anything over there, I just
You know,
hear things hearsay. so,
File cabinets are, a
Yeah,
thing of the past
Yeah,
almost, because
yeah.
people are keeping so much
Extinct.
stuff digital, so there's quite a selection of miscellaneous file cabinets. I know that Ryan, when he was, doing his office, he had gotten a few nice, pieces out of there. And I think were you guys gonna look at something for your election room? I talked to
oh,
Michelle.
yeah, Amy said something about chairs or something.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
so I haven't been in there, last time I was in there was Wednesday, but, they're kind of getting things. There was a group of magnets that, Kim sent me a picture of today and said that the girls had gone over there, they'd forgotten to grab them, and so I put the all call out, we found those back again, so, I just kind of told them to tag things, not to quite take them yet. Jessica Garcia did call me this morning, since it's a rain day, if everybody was okay, that the things they have marked, they'd like to have the, street people take it today, but I haven't, I don't know if it's safe to take them yet.
Yeah, I don't know if it is either.
Yeah.
I'll try to get everybody to get over there today or
I
tomorrow.
think it's important to get it cleaned out and, ready to show it. It looked like a tornado had hit it, and so the things that they can't use that nobody wants needs to go to the landfill or, I don't know, but it's time it starts looking like a show place and we can get it marked in and get it sold off. So we made great progress last week on that, so just wanted to bring that up. But other than that, I think that's probably it. Oh, and we will have, Caitlin Bishop, I told you last week that I had been leaving her messages. Well, that phone no longer is hers. She's, working in a different area. But we will be having, I believe 3 people. I told them they could just do Zoom rather than taking time away from their busy schedules to keep us updated on what's going on in Crawford County with mental health. I still feel we need those updates, so we know who we call, who our advocates are.
Are these 3 people from Iowa Primary Care, or are they
Iowa Primary
disability?
Care, not yet, no, it's
It's
gonna
the
be.
disability
from
access
the-
point?
yeah, From the District 3, I did not write her name down. Ashley Brandon and Lonnie McGuire are who will be on Zoom with us. So we can save up all of our questions for next Tuesday and just get to the bottom of how things are going and how they feel things are going. And we're sorry that Caitlin is working more in a different part of the state. So, yeah, so we'll get to know our new person here real soon. That's it.
All I have is Central Iowa Juvenile Detention. They're going over a bunch of their policies. Sure, well, pencil through all this. Pencil through, look through it. You can see one page here where they're doing, Latifa is, Fazel. I say it right?
Fasil?
Fasil, I should say, Latifa. She is, very detail oriented. She's doing a lot of the policy type things, going through that.
Just updated or just update what?
Yeah, update, cleaning up, putting things, wording, we had some wordings on where it should have been saying 28E and it was saying membership. I can't remember all the little detail, but there was just some bad wording in our public policies, things like that. So we're cleaning it up, with recommendation from HR people, what have you, they still. And the question was brought up at the meeting, we still don't have an HR person. That, I mean, we've kind of learned here that having an HR person to reach out to is critical. And so I was gonna give him Jack's number and I got a call at the end there and I had to fly out, but, I just think that they found somebody economical to be able to get a hold of, like Chelsea or something. I mean, that would be a big step for them, I think. They're doing a pretty good job. but there's still, you know, things that they. I would prefer they didn't guess on, for lack of a better way to put it. You know, I mean, I did notice though that, I don't know if it was intentional, but Kyle, a couple different times I had questions. Kyle's tech. I had a question and I, you know, raised my hand because it's a big bunch. You know, raise your hand, it gets to be a lot of spurt now, which happens from time to time too. Get a bunch of supervisors sitting together, it's gonna happen, I guess. But, he never did get back to me. I just thought, well, I mean, he would pass me, he'd look at me, then you go over to somebody that's already one of the prior member, the current membership, how's that? So I don't know if that was something that was discussed, that questions should come from the prior membership, or I haven't contacted him about it. I'm not feeling butthurt or anything. I just don't know. Right now, this week was fine. I kind of mixed this trip with business as well. And, but you know, Central Iowa's always paid, if we go to the meetings and don't Zoom in, they've always paid your mileage. Well, now, they're not gonna pay the mileage of people that's not current member, which makes sense to me. And, so I'll zoom into that, especially if they're not gonna take my questions anyway. So I'll just write things down and email them to them. But, I also call Kyle, so I'll call and ask him a couple, then the questions ended up getting answered by somebody else, you know. There's 30 some supervisors sitting in that. And, so your question will get asked, you know.
What's kind of the timeline at the end?
Yeah, that's a great question.
For they,
Great question. I never really got a solid answer.
because there's a number of counties that were like us that are now, what's our term, we're not members, but.
Well, we're getting member rates and all that stuff. I mean, so if Nate needs to use them, I mean, it's available, and he might want to have to talk to him. It looks pretty dark over there. When I came in, I see it look dark.
Still looks dark.
Yeah, they did change the rates. There will be no, for member counties, there's none of the exigent fees. But they did go to, they're going to 150 versus 120 per day, that day. And then plus the transportation. But, no exigent charges now. I asked the question, I did get asked this one. I asked who are our biggest exigent member counties. I mean, I thought, well, maybe it'd be Polk and stuff like that that do send you their less desirable to handle kids. And, actually, once they start getting their exigent charges, they pull them out quick. So member counties were the ones that were the largest on the exigent, so I'm kind of happy that that's went away. I mean, $30 additional, I mean, considering inflation, probably isn't the worst. We'll see.
When was the last time they raised the rate? You know, it's been a few years, huh?
Probably 2 or 3. 2 or 3 years, but you know, they went to this exigent thing that kind of ate up the extra, so they can get rid of that. I suspect they needed to go up. But we also discovered that, the exigent in member counties made good stuff. It didn't really, there was some, you know, like a kid attacking one of the staff members or stuff like that, then crap happens. Especially when they know there's not much you can do. You bring in the sheriff. They get more charges thrown at them and they get put back in juvenile detention. What was their loss there? I mean, they don't care. They don't see it as law. They get to take out their childish frustrations and there you go. I'll pass all this happy stuff around.
Not to let the cat out of the bag, but you think there'll be a new director hired by next meeting?
Yes. I think I won't tell you that they've got somebody set. Cassie's doing an outstanding job, isn't her? Only 2 people are gonna be interviewed on it, 8, but like 3 of them, I think Cal said didn't even have driver's license, so. Or people just trying to get their unemployment.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's, how else to put that.
I had a question. Did you make motion to vote? Has not,
Not yet,
not yet.
not
Okay.
until we're back on.
Maybe they are applying for the superintendent of the Des Moines school system.
Probably them same three, but their name. And I think the one that did, the other one that they're gonna interview was a past principal or superintendent, one or the other.
Oh,
The guy.
They need to do
That's
a
the guy
good
from the
background check.
Yeah. Want to hire a director before they start adding new members.
You know, when you say new members,
Or
it's all like past members.
pass.
I don't think that's, I don't think.
Well, it's just policy.
I think it's
correction
just to
there.
get people in there. I mean, she's already, Cassie, if she would be chosen, she's already neck deep and involved with all the stuff they're doing. And I gotta assume she would be an associate director if they hired the other fellow or person. I don't even know if it's a guy or a gal. By the way they talked, I assumed it was a guy. If they, hired that person, I would be foolish not to keep her. She's probably one of the sharper staff members there. And then the other two guys that are actually they're gonna change the makeup a little bit. She was doing a lot of stuff and then had another person that was helping her. But, she said it was a brutal workload. She said, I had a lot of overtime simply because too much to keep up with for one person. And so now there's gonna be two associates, but one takes care of the detention center, which is a big load, and the other one's gonna take care of all the other things that they've created there, whether it's your analysis programs across the state, the financial situations, or all that stuff that they take care of, the transportation and stuff like that. So they're gonna have them duties. So my question that I didn't get asked right away, and I suspect you probably knew it had to do with that, was I wanted to know if that was gonna reduce any of the admin people, since you have two people that are there. And they didn't think it would reduce anything, they just wouldn't need to increase it. Okay, but, I did get the vibe that all three positions, Tony was paid quite handsomely. Nobody's gonna get overpaid. So that's probably gonna be on the difference in having this other associate, but I just wanted to know if they had found a way in the budget current to offset all that, and they did that.
So essentially you can hire three just because of the.
Just because you got rid of the large at the top. And, I don't believe that, and I just got the vibe that everything that they're doing here, Cassie, excuse me, Cassie is, you know, like I said, neck deep involved in all the discussions, so I think she's probably, if I had to as a non-participating, because I don't know what's going on all in the executive committee. There is minutes and stuff in here, but it don't say. I would say she's probably the leading contender unless this guy blows it out. This other person blows it out of the water, which is possible. And that person would have a lot of time with kids, so me, and obviously some probably weren't well paid.
It does seem like there's a lot getting cleaned up, whether it's policy or just staff.
Yeah, a lot going on over there, a lot. I mean, they're really busy doing stuff. I mean, like I said, you know, you can go through. Here's part of the 2080 stuff they're working on. Bylaws, here's part of the bylaw stuff they're working on. Might even rewrite, because here's bylaws where they were, and these aren't finished yet either. They're still going through. I didn't mark stuff up. The lady sitting next to me used to be an auditor, and she was super like. Looked like me taking notes on the side of the paper. So, I wanted to just get a copy of hers, just, she was a note-taking machine. I couldn't even write that.
Reading those kind of notes, so.
But you can look through all this stuff. I mean, it's the bylaws and where they're cleaning things up. Making it a little pointed, you know, on what the subject they're talking about. You guys are welcome to look through that. Couple murders in there, old cases, nothing. Kind of back to just normal. Where the kids are. They-
Full.
yeah, I think they're, I think they're full. I really didn't say that, but I think they're full. They got a good staff. I mean, I'm more worried about keeping up staff than I am. I think the kids there's plenty of kids to go in detention centers, so God can tell you that. But, you know, keeping the good staff, they're out there in the middle of nowhere, you know, and Eldora is a nice community. It's not a real big community, so a lot of their people are coming from either Waterloo or Ames, you know, I mean, that's a 4-way drive for your shifts, but. Anyway, they're gonna work on trying to get more staff so that they have less overtime.
Full would be across the city.
I would say probably Waterloo. I mean, Iowa Falls is a fair sized community. I'm sure they're trying to hire out of there. That's probably the closest. They're probably a Denison size, a little bigger. They got Ellsworth College there. You know, so I mean, speaking of that, I called Kyle, asked him if when the last time he'd been to Iowa Falls. They've got, they call it their equestrian center, but it would be like an expo center. Because it's with Ellsworth College, and I don't know where they got all, it's a beautiful facility. I had to quit there, left her quiet, let's go check that out. They had a big sticks, and they had like a, you know, one part of it was like a learning center too, one of the buildings on this site. And you'd been impressed, because you're a horse nut anyway, but just rows, you know, I mean, you could do whatever you wanted. They call it the equestrian center, but have you been over to Iowa State's, the Hanson Center thing?
Yeah.
It was probably similar to that, so probably not quite as elaborate as what Iowa State can afford, but you know what I mean? It was really, really nice. I really thought something like that in here, you know, to improve our expo center that can't even keep it all lettering out, you know. I would think that something like that would be awesome. Crawford.
Where's that bound? I said out.
Iowa Falls.
No, but-
It's on the south edge. Really, as you're just coming into town on the south side there, and it's probably, I looked it up. I think it said they started building or finished it in 2010. Tells you how long since I've been into the Iowa Falls area. Boy, it's impressive. Just neat. I don't know, I just thought that was a neat sidebar, but as far as their closest cities, I mean, Marshalltown's terrible far away, but Waterloo is probably the easiest drive. Webster City, I'm sure they're trying to hire at all that places.
So yeah, that's where my dad went to college, Iowa Falls.
Is that right? At Ellsworth?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Played football there.
it was it must have been or it must be a nice, pretty nice school. I mean, like I said, that was pretty impressive, but I stopped, there was some activity going on, it didn't bother anybody. There was some worse stuff going on that day, but big bleachers in there, you know, like, you could use it for other things, if it was an expo center. And that learning center was huge as well, and then it had a huge back part to it. Like I said, I wanted to go, had to do a tour, but they were busy, so.
There's an agricultural and renewable energy center right next to them.
Oh, okay, you looked her up?
Yeah, that's a big bill, that's a big equestrian center.
That's a big deal.
That's right by that.
What's that?
Ethanol plant there or that?
It's by Thiesen's,
You know what, I don't know.
they're owned by the hospital.
Did we need to do
The
that?
hospital's closed.
We already did something.
We already
I
did.
don't see no ethanol.
We already sent
We
out.
just took a big rain elevator.
Yeah, we already did
I
our
noticed
thing.
you're listed as one of the.
Yeah, and I don't know, Chris, this is their rep that's there, he was a big Tony.
Yep.
I don't know, that might be, there might be more to that than I got
Okay,
told.
Okay, all right, then it stuck out, I was like, wait a minute, why?
Yeah, so I don't know, I mean, Keith he would defend Tony a lot, so I mean, I don't know if he felt like that, I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know, I don't wanna speak for him, I don't know.
Just-
So why they pulled out, I
That
seen that
just jumped
too.
up and grabbed me.
They really didn't talk about it in the meeting, and when I went going through it, well, last night again, I said, where'd this one come from? So it struck me the same as it did you.
Did we sign, did our board sign one?
I think so.
I think we did some.
I think I'm pretty sure you did.
Was that long, was that a long time ago?
We did.
Well,
Hopefully it
it was
wasn't
this summer maybe, or late summer.
Okay.
I can't remember
I
We did
exactly.
one. I know I had, I
I'm
know I
pretty
brought
sure.
all that back. So it had to have been like two, maybe.
Couple months ago?
Maybe two months.
Yeah, it was a couple
August,
months ago.
September, August?
I think August. So-
I'll look.
I'm not-
I'll double check.
So
I'm
you
pretty
guys
sure
are
we
sure.
did.
We all had to pull out in order for them to.
I remember
continue
that
I remember having the
conversation and I
resolution.
remember all
I
of
think
that.
so.
We voted on,
We
I
did.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah, we did
I-
all.
I
pretty sure.
I think you had Colin maybe weigh in on
You probably don't.
that whole
He read
business
through-
of
he read through,
2080s
yeah.
and stuff, yeah,
Ask him.
And we did it to get the same rates, but yet to try to
Yeah.
right.
get through the process.
Yeah, and it's
I
just,
remember-
Still
all
wanted to
that.
be members, but we
we
needed
still
to
have to
do
take
those
action,
process,
official action.
Down the road.
right,
Because-
join the 2080.
Because it's starting to look like Region 12 where you still go to the meetings, but you don't get to vote, you don't get to have an open.
well, eventually I'll be
Right.
back on if we
That's-
choose to go back on.
Right.
You
This
get
board-
to choose to go back.
If this board chooses to go back on, we'll go back
Right.
on.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why you
And
wouldn't.
I, you know,
I know.
Nate weighed in, he would like to keep it in his toolbox. you know.
And it does seem like, I mean,
Yeah.
we're on the right
We need-
path of getting things
We're
cleaned
getting it
up.
all cleaned up. I tell you what, I'm very impressed with the work that Kyle and Lance and Bob and Dick Latifa, a few others that are kind of sneaking in short time. Them four right there really have done a lot.
Change at the top might have been a very good,
What's
the
that?
change at the top.
The new
Well, isn't
brewery
that hurt?
sweeps clean.
They're, you know, it's just, they would bring a lot of these issues that they're fixing now to Tony and it would get put on the back burner. all the time. Why, I don't know.
Well, the fact that we never got registered as a member.
Yeah,
I mean,
no
why-
follow through on those 2080s.
See, and then like Lance brought up, you know, Lance was he's Hardin County, which is where Eldora is, you know, and he brought up that, really, we could have bailed on him if something bad would have happened. Well, we're really not a member. And that's not fair to the people that would get stuck over the bag then, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if we were one of them original counties, we wouldn't like that, so we gotta clean those things up. So, yeah, you know, I mean, I think Tony was very entrepreneurial, for lack of a better thought, I mean, or lack of a better word, I mean, he was always working to try to make it a bigger thing. And I'd like to think it was for the reason that he would say was to, you know, diversify what they're doing to create a better income to help offset the cost of faculty, because detention makes it hard to pay for all that, which you're probably aware of. And especially since the state doesn't pay off what they used to, or what they originally vowed to pay.
Right.
So I mean, it's been tougher for these outfits to make a go at it. So doing that stuff didn't seem like the worst idea. Now, sometimes I wonder if it was about making it that way so that he can increase his salary.
Well, there's that
I'm managing all
argument
this
to be
stuff.
made.
Yeah, I'm managing all this stuff.
Well, and if they need 2 or 3 people to replace him, maybe it was just too much.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it was, the workload was
Well, these people were
He just
actually
wasn't
kind of already
willing
doing
to-
it.
Right.
on it, you know.
They're all three
delegate
were
it off
there.
To anybody else.
So they were
I
all
don't know.
doing it, but were they being compensated for what they're doing? You know, so maybe if you divide all that salary up amongst three
Don't in
people,
it all.
cause they still, you know, you still got their salary that was a lower salary that they were doing. You know, but they're probably gonna be doing pretty close to work. So I think it'll be. I think, you know, and to be honest, I'm very confident in the executive board, and they're gonna create 4 other boards. You know, a financial, just different, I can't remember what they titled all of them, but there'll be 4 other boards. That'll meet, what they wanna do is the executive board will meet monthly or whenever on call. And that's what's going on right now. The other ones will meet bi-monthly and then bring the whole commission together to go over big things quarterly, unless necessary, vote on something sooner, bring a special meeting.
Well, it does seem like you had a really engaged group of executive board members and
The great bunch, I mean, you know, Kyle's. I mean, he's gonna fit a wedding into it somewhere here, but I don't know how, you know.
Sometimes more eyes on things are good too. You get one person in charge of everything.
morning.
That clock's a little off, I keep
Oh,
looking
well,
at that.
so do I. That's ridiculous. So do I.
It is a little off, isn't it?
Yeah,
Maybe it
We'll have
needs a
to-
I'd
battery.
rather it be that much. off
Oh, I
than
looked
just a
up at a
little
quarter
go
till and I
off.
wanted to thank you guys for, it, but it ain't a quarter.
I think it's 8:30 yet, which I can call for. I can't fall for that.
Is that everything, Ty?
Yeah, that's all I had for outside meetings for us. I mean, there was some, we had a ag committee meeting that we did discuss pertinent stuff, but.
Then, Tim, go ahead.
How do you do control this? That's, well, then, what?
Or no, I don't,
Made me pray.
oh.
We did, picked the project over on Bale Bridge there. Right now, well,
If you right click
as
on it,
of
does that
now,
bring up
the actual bridge itself
Right
is
click.
complete. I believe they were last visit when they were pouring the last bit of concrete on the bridge rails, on that bridge. So the bridge itself, the structure is complete. Now they're working on the approach sections of the highway to the approach slabs to tie in the bridge with the existing pavement and they're forming up for that, and then they'll have some little bit of additional site shaping to do, with the erosion control. I think they plan on doing a temporary seeding, but next year they'll have to be reseeded, area, just temporary measure from the wall. And, but aside from that, I estimate that they probably it'll be somewhere towards the end of November, latter part of November when that bridge will be open, but, hate to give timeframes, of course, but, that's kind of the way it's looking, so, things are moving. So, little bit of rain delay today, of course, that I don't believe they're on site today, so we'll, give everybody else a break too, fields and whatnot, so, that's where things are at there. They're working on the approach sections, so. Met with the city and DMU last week in regard to the Dogweed Road Bridge. Just had some conversation with our consultant on that, try and keep things moving forward with plan development on that. Trying to get them to the 70% completion before resubmitting anything to the UP Railroad as far as our plans for what we're looking at, for a structure of the UP Railroad there. There's some question, of course, with the utilities that are in the railroad and city right of way. Relocation of which the primary one being the sewer main that runs underneath the existing bridge and is in the railroad right of way. They do have easement to have their line there, but they're gonna take some precautionary measures to line that sewer main. Just with concern of there being some vibration due to demolition of the bridge, not having a moment during construction, and having a sewer main rupture during the bridge construction, that could really put a lot of delays and setbacks on the project. So they're gonna take precautionary measures and line that line.
That'll be at the city's cost then.
Yes, city, well, how they'll work it out with the city and the utility, it will kind of be on them. I know they're hopefully, looking at trying to acquire some of the aid money, the grant money to see if that would be eligible towards any of this, that's it to be seen.
So we see what it's gonna cost. Our little part that we're doing here, so that'd be a pricey.
Yeah.
Lost
Another
bonus.
concern that was brought up is, I know the Highway 59, the railroad bridge over Highway 59 is a project in the works. I'm gonna try and get them nailed down a little more when they're looking at the construction of that. I believe they're probably doing both sides. They were talking,
They can do both sides.
that I don't know. So I don't know how that'll affect traffic so much there, if the traffic will continue. Don't want to have both bridges work on at the same time. So,
Like a crossover.
I would
That's
imagine.
the understanding I had. I went 30 code.
That's my understanding. I don't know if, one way or another, if it would affect whether or not we do our project in 2028 as well, knowing that they could divert their traffic, each vote would be on one bridge or the other on both sides. So I know there was a little bit of concern there as far as having both the Don Reed Road Bridge and work being done on the bridges over here at the same time. You know, they're causing a bit of a headache for the traffic, so. So
Down Reed though, I mean, that's got a pretty good incline on both sides, if you just jump the hole. Might need a little better, it'd be hard to get a run from Highway 36, you know, if you got a booster down here.
okay, that just highlights how.
Ty, we're gonna let you try it first.
Okay.
Weren't they
I
talking
got a
about
dirt
doing that
bike.
railroad bridge next summer, 26?
We're hoping, pardon.
The state, you know, because they came and asked us if they could use some of our gravel pile area for staging. Wasn't that scheduled for 26?
That was my initial thought, but I think, just from, meeting, I think they were talking more 2028.
Is 26 for the Anderson's Bridge?
That's, remember the questionnaire we filled out, that's supposed to be 28, I thought, but who knows, their plans are probably fluid too and moving.
And I'm gonna dig a little bit into that for my own purpose, so I know, you know, when they're talking about doing it. And I know they mentioned buying a tiny sliver along of our gravel pile area there. Really, it's not being utilized right now. I don't think it would make a bit of difference. It's sell them a little bit of right of way to extend them four slopes out a little bit for the new constructions, but they are looking at purchasing a little bit of right of way from the county property there.
Yeah,
And to have access in and out of the county property.
be prepared for the next 4 years of disruptions of events.
For sure. Yeah.
It'll go quick.
It'll go quick. Yeah.
I hope you're right.
I believe our hopes for the Don Reed Road Bridge is getting it to the point of being able to let it latter part of 2026 or the part of 2027 for construction in 2027. That's it. Yeah, we got a lot to accomplish and to keep to that schedule
And the
and
rail.
work with real, you just don't know, but I know the hope was to, if we didn't get it in 2027, you know, if the hiccups occurred, being able to let it 2028 for construction. But again, don't want hiccups with other construction going on and disrupting too much traffic.
Is the funding
It's
for
a
that
concern.
concerned about the time frame?
We get much later than 2028, that would affect our grant money.
So it's 2028, so funds, okay.
Yeah. That's a concern. So,
Without that.
Right.
So where will the official detour be for Don Reed Road?
I anticipate it'd be over on 141 coming up 59. Again, we'd be detouring, traffic into their construction area if it's going on at the same time. They would likely approve of that, so, otherwise they'd have to probably go over to Vail Highway
Vail.
and come from the south, so.
I'm sure that takes out big.
I hope.
That works. I bet a lot of people think so.
I can tell you where all the traffic's gonna go.
I remember when that was not the official detour and all the dust and problems with that. Yeah, so I anticipate, it still won't be on time because that's a long ways out of my way.
And like I said, down Reed Road, not the most heavily traveled road, but it's probably a little more traffic than, you know, some of the other county highways, M55,
We get a lot of Manila.
Oh, yeah, a lot of them
Yeah,
now traffic.
a lot of traffic,
yeah.
What would be an advantage of,
getting more and more.
for that summer, if we're
Yeah, you are.
concerned about having like that, to have when that 2 mile stretch, have that oiled or something?
SM, oh,
Yeah.
during Don Reed.
Yeah.
Down Reed, yeah.
That's a
That was fine.
thought, but I've been thinking that as far as Lincoln Way, a sacrificial seal coat
Right.
along there. It'd be a costly, and knowing it's gonna be beat up to the point of being unrecognizable. It's gonna be all about safety. But for safety, yes, it was a thought, but I just don't know, even at that, how long a seal coat on a road.
Depending
that kind of
on the
traffic
season.
last.
I mean, if bridge replacement started early spring, I mean, that's gonna be just but if it started in June, it probably lasts quite a while. But who knows how they're letting
Yeah, that isn't gonna be a quick bridge, I don't think.
over the clear.
Like
The one,
Don
the
Reed.
red,
Oh,
the Don Reed one.
Yeah, I don't know what the, you know, by the time you get the railroad, you gotta play nice with them so they can keep their compass moving, so that's gonna be a,
That's the main artery for them.
you know, it's gonna be a lengthy project, I would agree.
It's gonna be different. I mean, they'll need everybody away from, out of the right of way, like 20 minutes before and after every train. And I don't know how many trains come through there, but,
A lot.
there's gonna be probably half a day will not be able to be.
When does that
constructed
bridge
work,
go?
Yeah.
so.
When was that? Well, let me think here.
I think we need to send a coalition.
The people out working on the bridge have to leave
To replace
the trains
our
going
railroad.
I see that one on Facebook that time. I thought I shared
People
it
that work
around.
on the bridge have to leave when the train goes through.
And like.
Right, they got completely
Exactly.
Evacuate
And I mean, they
tore out the railroad right away when the train is coming through.
Was
And,
amazed.
they'll have a flagger there
Felt like, well.
the entire time,
Substandard.
indicating when the train will be coming and everybody needs to disperse. So, there'll be training involved for anybody that's gonna be on site, any contractor that, whoever bids on this project, and will have to be very familiar with the rules of the railroad. We will as well, if we're out there doing, any kind of inspection and whatnot, the materials testing, we'll have to probably go through some, railroad training, to be out on the right of way during constructions. It'll be an interesting one.
It will be, yeah.
Is there, I mean, I guess the original estimate on that bridge is, don't matter now, but is any of that additional time and resources figured into that estimate already?
I believe that is somewhat estimating that it's gonna be a difficult build, kind of keeping that in consideration in our estimate.
I was gonna say, if you only can work a half a day because of rail traffic. And you're paying Davis Bacon wages because there's federal money in that.
And you're paying a railroad flagger to
But just
be
about
there.
the length of the project.
That comes out.
So in other words, that hypothetically, this is a
That
$3
was
million
out of our
bridge over the railroad,
money
it's
that
only be a
railroad
$1.5 million bridge
But it'll
anywhere else.
It'll come directly out of Brentman, or if it'll come out of
Ding,
just
ding,
the
ding.
City,
city or, you know, the cost of splitting, I'm not sure exactly what.
can't believe the railroad would just supply somebody for it for free.
Quite the opposite, Gene. They'll supply somebody, but it's.
That'd be the friendly thing
Very
to
well
do.
paid somebody.
We could offer the railroad.
Gene will be at the funny bone the rest of the week.
Yes, exactly.
Pretty sure this still resonates back to the 1800s when the government wanted to pan westward and they gave all the power to the railroad.
Yeah,
Big mistake.
You know, I was listening to a report on tariffs yesterday.
oh my gosh.
And they got to talking about the steel industry and how when we were building the railroads across our country, how all that really fed into our economic strength as a nation. And the tariffs were used extensively at that time to ensure the quality of rail and all that kind of stuff. So it was very interesting. I mean, it wasn't justifying modern tariffs, but it was just explaining how tariffs have been used to benefit the United States and its economy and its quality of build, you know, like the skyscrapers and stuff that were built to ensure, well, steel quality. You could control that in our country, but when something getting shipped in, you really have any control overseas on the steel. So I thought it was pretty neat. Sorry, we got talking about railroads, so I thought I'd throw that in.
All right, so we won't have to
Guess I don't know
reflect.
back then what there was for material testing and labs on, you know, so, yeah, they probably do want to control a little bit, at least of where it's coming from, so back then.
I'm sure Archimedes left us something.
Yeah, great crew, they're still on 230th Street, they probably got about another week, a little bit more, up there, probably a little bit delayed, of course, today, and they are gonna do a little bit of work on that south intersection, with, 230th and J, where it's got that curve around, they're gonna take a little bit of knob off the southwest corner of that and get a better sleep this now section. And, shape up that intersection a little bit more, right, for, of course, looking at the possibility of upgrading that roadway, to a little road, and have that shaped up as well. Again, any upgrades to a roadway right now, I'm not overly want to put the limestone out on the roads this time of year to shape it up. I know there's been some question as to how we would still do it for the winter. I know that another roadway that was asked about, whether or not we would still put gravel on the road that we had shaped up a few years back as a level B, and they want to possibly bring it up to a level A. It's getting a little bit late in the season to want to put the limestone out on it right now, but we can certainly take a look if it looks like we got good weather in the forecast, but prefer to do that aspect of things at this point next year, if we're gonna upgrade, let's put it limestone on, so.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
take-
take investment and have them throw it all in the ditch accidentally. No, not on
Can I ask a
purpose.
question? We have a sheet split, right? I think it's a bull bind.
Yep.
Have we ever thought about when we throw that reclaim or whatever we throw out on these A's, on these B's, to try to help over, if we ran that over it a couple of times, you know, when we first, I mean, if it's powdery, probably ain't good, pretty good, but boy, if you ran it over when it was a damp soil, that might help hold some of that, so it don't run it out, and wash the grout down the hill. I don't know, I'm asking the experts here.
We used to.
You mean on the road?
On that, when we're trying to save a level B, you know, when we use the reclaim or something, that's what I'm talking about, just, you know, if you ran a tractor to sheet foot over it a couple of times, I don't know if it would help or not. I think it wouldn't help 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's-
Anytime you, put anything intended for compaction, it's gonna have a bit more than not. I know, running our grader, you know, our dozer, you know, helps, any more would help. I do. I think that, my concern with putting a limestone up at this time of year is it's gonna get sloppy, it's gonna get just mashed into that loose, you know, it's just gotta be loose, even if we did do that looser than what, you know, would be if it had time to be driven on, settled in, and I just fear, the limestone we put on it would just be pushed out, but, you know, this time of year.
Makes loaded semis go over it a few times.
Yeah, then
We got phone.
It does.
fine of you.
But it'd be better to do it, you know, next year, you know, get through the spring, fall, and then put the.
I just was thinking about that, because you want to put a lot of that out, that reclaim on, we were redoing some of them roads, and I just thought, they're glad I helped, it's even sent, then you'd see where it washed and gullies there, but, you know. Don't know, don't want to waste a lot of man and hearts if it wasn't, no. Instincts, but I think it would, so I'm gonna take that.
It would certainly, and I think, you know, with the fewer, you know, if we're doing fewer grading of ground roads, you know, it's gonna look more. Good time, you know, with compaction up, if we're not rushing to get on to the next one, you know, we could possibly, do a little more compaction on these roads. Not saying we're doing a bad job now, but, yeah, any more time spent is better, so.
Well, you certainly, but that's what's lying into upgrading these roads, or reconditioning these roads, so I mean, an ounce of prevention for that pound of cure.
And that's why I don't hesitate when, you got landowners that want to upgrade it, which we put the investment into shaping up the road as a level B. It basically ready for granular surfacing if wanted, and so if they're willing to put it for the investment to turn a gravel road, it just helps it that much more, in my opinion, I guess, but I know, you know, it's gotta make sense, you know, some roads that wouldn't make sense to upgrade, it just wouldn't have the traffic volumes, but a lot of these that we're doing, it does make sense, I know 230th Street's a connective route, off of Vernon Bicycle and straight up to E16 there, it makes sense to do that, and, yeah.
And I will say
Yeah, our investment
that when they really complain hard, I've been helping out with, we've had some extra south, we've been bringing out all the moments, some of the gravels, the drive up down there. My God, I mean, 15, 20 mile an hour tops, or you're shaking yourself around like, yeah. So we do a good job taking care of our roads. I sent that video to Paul that time I was on that road down in Texas. It was terrible. That was 2 miles of that. That was terrible. So you guys, I mean, for the complaints that we do get, you know, we're in pretty good shape.
Like I said, I don't dislike complaints because it tells us, hey, we got a problem on the road, let's go get it taken care of, so, you know.
That's why
we
roads
understand
are
roads
good.
get bad, and maybe it hasn't been over a while, it is, it gives us, hey, you know, so-and-so says this road is bad, let's get down, take a look, and get it addressed if it is, so. But, you know, to that fact, you know, roads are gonna get rough at times, that you got a lot of miles to go.
I just came off that road yesterday, there was motor grader.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Good, buddy. But yeah, that's over grading, June 30th, the bridge crew, they're doing some patching right now, they did some patching of Fundy 16, right now, I believe they're still down on M16, or they.
They finished up on M16, they just happened to go back and use soft curves today while it's wet. Tomorrow they'll be heading down to the Irwin Highway, south of Manila. It's pretty significant. A lot of patches to do on that. Hopefully, looking at trying to invest a little bit more money next summer to create a better road. Or last year road on that.
Yeah, I was wondering
That's
about-
kind of neglected.
That road has had a lot of
That
patching
road
done
gets
to
kind
it,
of neglected.
and they're
It
rough,
does. It does
for
get
some reason,
neglected.
patches are just,
There's not much there for us.
But a semi-traffic
But
going
even
pile.
when you get Shelby County,
There it is.
Beats it up.
Yeah, it's a mixed road, it's
that would be a good mile
Shelby, so we
to
can kind of work together.
do a little bit of a leveling course on.
I know I've drove some of our boundary roads. Tell what she said.
Let's see how they're on budget. And when we have a plant on site, you know, to be able to do a little bit of a deal on there, see if we can find some room in the budget to do a little bit of, we got a few areas that it would, merit that just coming over and doing a little bit of a leveling course on it, that road in particular. We'll want to take a look at it. See. That road is rough, we'll say, but, roadside crew, so Dean's out mowing, he's probably wrapping things up, looking at some favorites, finished mowing up, he probably, was looking at being done for the season here. Next item I do have here, motion to approve, this was a discussion last week, purchase of some granular, road maintenance gravel from Allen Materials, we're looking at the 40,000 ton from Hampton. And that 10,000 ton from Wall Lake Pit. The Wall Lake Pit, I know they've been pushing that material at us pretty hard. It's just the chatter is, you know, from other counties as well that they looked at it. It's just clean. It's too clean a material. It doesn't have any binding qualities to it. I'm not saying it, you know, that's all we got, you know, it's good material.
Is it a wash film or?
I believe it comes more when they dredge it, they don't have the coarse material, a lot of the crushed material with it. So it's just that smaller round material, and when it dredges it up, it almost kind of like it washes it. They claim they've got a lot better, you know, their gradations, they've sent me gradations, you know, showing what there is for the under 200 sieve, and it's showing that they have the fines in it, just the proof is when it goes down the road, and
Right.
you just tell it's not the same as what we had up at Hampton. As long as we're able to get material everybody likes and would rather have from Hampton, we're gonna continue to go that direction. Again, we got limited resources.
Is there stuff, Ben, that we can add to it to get it, I guess, how you want it, or does that make it way more expensive to do that, or? Just curious, I don't know a lot about rock.
I suppose there is, we could blend it a little bit with what we get from Hampton, and probably some of the limestone material went with it when it crushed, it does add some of the fun, but then you're spending the time blending rather than just,
Right.
you know, what we get out of the bits, just to, you know, just put it down on the road and have it be what we
Or is
want.
it work?
Now you get mixing and blending involved, and
But if you do like what we do with our 200,000 for White Rock, and you target hit certain areas and grade it together, it's gotta help.
yeah, that's exactly what we do.
How many ton of rock do we purchase a year?
Gravel material, about 120,000.
120,000.
So we have,
So this is
this
a little less than half.
is what you're doing here. Paul, before you contracted 70,000 at Stratford, which is made and on the ground and ready for us to pick up. Right now,
Gravel price has been going up since like Paul did the 70,000 and.
with Stratford, not sure if their prices went up much since, I got to see what that was contract. Howlett's prices have gone up.
It's been going up
Last year,
What would we say last
They're
week?
over $3 a ton more than when I started.
We were in $6-7 range.
And no count truck,
That's just the gravel.
it's about there.
Right.
yeah. Yeah, these numbers are just the gravel, price at the quarry. Last year we paid $9 at both locations, Anthem and Wall Lake. They've raised prices now, for anything at the Anthem, it would be $9.98, almost a dollar more. The Anthem bid.
If you use Anthony on the west side of the county and then the Wall Lake stuff, it'd be hard to blend them without having a bunch of your own personal truck and or our truck. I mean, the trucking's gonna eat up that 50 cent savings.
Right, it basically buys us, right? Basically makes it 2 miles, you know, because we figure about 25 cents, about the top line, you know, hauling. Basically shortened up what we're able to cover from that corner, you know, coming from Anthem by 2 miles, and. I mean, it still makes sense to try and get that side of the county done, even with better material. But that is something to weigh in, the price at Wall Lake, is $9.45, that came up 45 cents from the $9 it was last year. So both locations, it's gonna be more, they're Anthem, they're claiming they could, using their aggregates that they're bringing up from there, it's better for some other uses of, you know, I don't know if it's wash sand or whatever for concrete uses or different aggregates, different markets for that material where they can make more of that. Able to make as much, you know, producing road gravel for us, but as long as they're selling us road gravel, that's where we'd rather have it. So as long as it's available to us, we're gonna try and keep the majority of it coming from there, but we do have to look at the price of what it takes to get it from there versus Wall Lake. And we may have to look a little harder at the material from Wall Lake and see if we can, you know, if it is it that bad that we won't put it on our roads at a little bit more of a budget, so.
This isn't your budget to cover.
Pardon?
You have this in your budget.
This will probably be in the budget for next year. Yeah,
Spend $1 million. Yeah.
right now, they're staying at the $9, a ton for the remainder of the year from Wall Lake. If we want to continue to send trucks up there for the rest of the year,
Just to make
yes,
it.
material. And, you know, and we have a truck too that we've been sending, it just hauling 2 stockpiles.
So will we actually not take this until July 1st or after part of the next year's budget, or do we get it before that and not have to pay for it until next year's budget?
Pallets, we pay for it as we get it from a bit, so whatever we haul before the first year, I believe that's, we pay for it then, as we pick it up.
This motor,
Stratford, they worked with us, as far as, allowing us to pay for X amount after the first, you know, and so we can kind of budget appropriately in that way. It gives us a little bit of flexibility.
this is for the budget after next July.
Yes, and no.
Yes and no, if we're still sure to gravel haul, anything we pick up, you know, after the first of the year, or. No, this would be,
It's pretty much in this budget, yeah.
yeah,
It's in the-
this
it's
would be
in
in
this
this budget,
budget.
this will have to be part of this budget, yeah. Anything picked up before the first, yeah.
Especially with the efficiency our gravel haul has been in the last couple of years, majority of this will come out of this year's budget.
So I guess my question would be that you have room in your budget to cover what would be hauling ahead of July 1st.
I'll have to
Yeah, I figured.
look at the locals, but yes, I believe so, we usually leave a little bit of a
Adding for that.
for price, you know, increases.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the granular road maintenance gravel from Hallett Materials, 40,000 from the Anthem pit, 10,000 from Lakeview pit. The total's up $493,700.
Motion by Kyle,
Second.
Second by Craig. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay.
This is worse than.
You think that 98 cent jump is on the Hampton pits trying to lengthen the, I mean, we've been getting gravel out of Hampton forever. I mean, it did all self-renew, so.
I
Gotta
think
come
it's,
to an end here shortly. Are they trying to stretch it out by adding more value to it?
I don't know if it's trying to stretch it out or trying to divert us to get it from other locations and knowing that they probably do have more favorable markets for that material over there. And that they probably use it rather than use it for. But, you know, I don't wanna take our foot out of the door, you know, if that's the better material. If we're still able to get something that's cost effective. So I don't wanna go buy the lesser quality product just because they wanna sell that somewhere else. But again, it's gotta make sense budget wise too, so. I think it's just trying to steer us more towards small lake pit, to tell you honestly. And, okay, and we'll have to take a hard look at whether or not it is improving, if they are getting on the clay fines, the binding materials in with it, so. We'll continue to look at it, like I said, our resources are limited, so, we don't wanna shut doors on any resource we have, so. Aside from that, the Charter Oak side, we're looking at, as soon as the grading crew is kind of finished up on 203rd Street up there.
Everybody's off their pay.
Yeah, they got it bailed up, ready for us to come in and, we'll be all parties involved, make sure what we're doing is gonna be agreeable to everybody. We're gonna take some off that knob on the north side there, bring it down, bring some topsoil up to them, take some of the underlying soil off that knob, and bring it down where we want to build up our site for our building site.
So lower round top will be gone.
Yeah, to some degree, it's still gonna have a pretty good, but it should level off.
Build a house.
It should be less of the severity of the slope on that, but yeah, that's where we want everybody involved out there and agreeable to how we're shaping that up, what we're bringing down. And we'll get that shaped up for a building site and have it available for a batch plant site, and get some work done on that this fall.
Great.
Say, Ben, while you're here, I just have a quick question I was gonna ask you this morning, of course I forgot to. You've come to stop and see you, but now I see you and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. But I had a client call me and just ask about who is in charge of putting no passing zone lines on like Highway 39? Does the DOT do that or does? I guess I'm just curious, they were just curious of who is the entity that decides this is where a no passing zone is, this is not where a no passing.
Highway 39, that would be the state,
That's what I thought.
if it was on one of our highways, I'd want to consult the highway engineer. There are, I would have to kind of brush up a little bit on my highway design, but that's one of those things, if we're gonna do like say L51 down there are passing zones. We'll shoot the beginning and the end of those passing zones with our GPS because that's what they were established at. We have to kind of buy it and re-engineered it, leaves those positions of where it's start. It would have to be determined, site distances coming up
Right.
over hill and it's easier just to preserve those locations, those stop and start locations.
But on
and
39,
put it
I mean,
back
this county resident was just asking me, who do they need to contact? And I told them probably
down.
DOT.
The DOT, yeah.
But I said, I'm not 100% sure. I'll ask our county engineer to find out.
And who would do the highway engineering of where that location needs to be? I don't know who would do it for, who they have to do that for them if they have their own engineers, if they would hold that help. If it was a highway that we needed to assess or, I would probably consult a traffic engineer in establishing where that stop and start should be. Just for the fact that, it's not something I do every day.
Right.
That's one thing you want to be correct on.
I imagine it's gotta be spelled out in the manual uniform traffic control devices. I know.
It would be, yeah.
I mean, speed of traffic, loading time, I mean, how much time
It'd
you
be a
gotta get.
certain SOP and there, but probably if you need to increase it or whatever,
When you say SOP,
standard operating procedures.
okay, all right,
So like, if you're on a site distance over that hill is 1,000 feet, your no passing zone will stop at 700 feet before that, so the traffic has no time to get in, back into their normal lane. I imagine it's all spelled out. So where, yeah, they could come out and assess it and say, yeah, we do have this too close, or.
Yeah, and we do a little bit of that for our entrances, of course, we want to make sure we're correct or have our site distance, you know, for whatever the speed limit is on that section of highway. And we'll be doing that, you know, like I said, you mentioned that gentleman selling jerk over there, we'll want that kind of assessed is right there, but I'm still looking at that. I haven't had a chance, but yes, we'll determine whether or not we got site distance for our lane entrances. It's much of the same for passing zones. I'd want to brush up, you know, like I said, when you establish that, and I'm not sure if that would be a resolution of the board to establish a different no passing zone.
It probably would be.
If it's different from existing, but again, that's one of those things that you want to have very correct, you know, some of that. And that way, if there's an accident, you know, that would be a huge liability. You go, like, you established it here, it should have been back a little further. I probably want a little bit of consulting, but someone who does a little more traffic engineering than I do in that respect, so. But something I'm familiar with, so.
Good point. I mean, highways change, trees get moved, banks get taken down, site distance increase.
The best way to get a hold of the DOT is go on their website, Iowa DOT, and then most likely look up your region, like I think we're region 3 or 4, again, not 100%. But then, you know, you can, there's names and lists of people who takes care of all that. Best place to go.
Yep.
Okay,
thank you.
thanks, guys.
You know, he's like the head of Denson on the road. He usually gets me a contact. Got a cell number. Usually gets me a contact when I need to.
I know somebody, I know somebody.
We can move on, discuss, take action, letter of understanding with Ronwell, L and I, our auditor. That was in the packet.
Pretty standard.
Pretty standard.
To do, so I make a motion that we sign that letter of understanding.
Motion by Gene,
Second?
second by Craig. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next. Let's take action estimate for snow removal courthouse and
The only bid we got?
What we got?
only one. we
That
got.
just seems so high.
So I dug out last year's. Cause I also was curious and couldn't remember off the top of my head. So the estimate we got for this year is an hourly rate, and based on the number of inches. Last year's was also based on the number of inches, but was, just a dollar amount. So 2 inches was priced at $500. 5 inches was $600. 8 inches was $700. So it must have been an up to 2, and then you go up to 5, and then you go up to 8. $500, $600, $700 respectively. So 1 to 2 inches on the new proposal, an hourly rate of $160. So up to 2 inches is 500 last year, so what would that be? Almost 3 hours of work approximately to get to a similar dollar amount. So I don't know what equipment they have, I don't know the number of people they have, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're out there with teaspoons, you know.
Yeah, and so this is labor only, $160 an hour is labor only.
There's additional charge on.
There are additional charges,
Fine print.
for salt materials sold separately at a cost of 50-pound bags. Pet safe salt may be requested, minimums 2 hour. When heavy equipment is required, plow with a truck, skid loader, 1.5 hour minimum for touch-up or light equipment. Jeff and I have talked a few times about this, and I thought maybe he might be here. I might, if Michelle is listening, will you try to get a hold of Jeff and have him come to the meeting, please?
So
Anyway.
could he put salt out? Is that kind of what we're?
Well, and I thought if it's a storm that he can't get here promptly in the morning,
I would skip over to see if Jeff comes up, you know, the next time.
yeah,
Give
you
Jeff-
sure can.
Can I ask a question
Absolutely.
before,
Yeah.
so what we have to move, the snow would be the sidewalk down in front of the law enforcement.
All the way around our
here,
building.
All the way around up to.
Yeah, this parking lot
This
behind
parking
the
lot.
building, the west parking lot,
Parking lot
the
across.
street we
street
don't
now that
do,
we own.
like whatever that street is called,
Exchange,
Exchange. The city does
our
that.
new parking lot across the
Our
way
new
that we
parking
now
lot would
own.
be done, the city center building and its parking lot. And again, not the street, but, and not those parallel
Not the
parking
alley.
spots. But that parking on the bottom layer behind, by
veterans are.
Louise's office,
Yeah.
that would be done. And then
Wow,
there's a
that's-
little, it is a lot. But I know Jeff and I have talked, that touch-ups would kind of be his. We have equipment, we have two
Touch-up.
lawn tractors that both have snow blowers in front of them. And if he can make it here, that's the big if he can make it here. Yeah, here he comes, jingle jangle.
Apparently having a bell and a dairy cake.
Much high.
We're talking snow
Good
removal.
timing, Jeff.
No removing.
And I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
phone
talking
call.
about, touch-up stuff that if you had gotten here, are able to get here, that you would try to manage
Yeah,
touch-ups after the
What
fact.
does
after the-
touch-ups mean?
like if it keeps snowing through the day or something.
Yeah,
So they come,
yeah, melting, if ice
they come
builds
take the
up,
snow all off, it keeps snowing during the day, you could.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see, I see.
best I
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Right, right,
And
right.
secondary roads has offered and has done before, like the parking on the west. And probably even that parking, I believe, and that, yeah,
And,
Ben said something about it and,
They gotta pick up with a plow.
yeah,
yeah, I'm good friends with Eddie. I've known him for a long time. And he's got guys that live here in town that, you know, could come right away. Cause he's talking about 3, 4 in the morning coming.
Who's Eddie? Is that the?
Eddie Vasquez.
Vasquez.
He owns a construction company, so. And he said he'd send us a bill per event. And like we talked to, we'll just have to keep in contact with each other. You know, find out what's going on with the
right,
filing and stuff like
I mean,
that.
cause I'm sure we never, I mean, you weren't here to ask the question too, but how long it would take them on a 4-inch snow to do everything. I mean,
right.
previously, I had no idea how.
I have no idea,
There's a lot.
There's a
I,
lot.
right, she just went over.
but how many guys does? I
He's
mean,
got
how
5 or
many
6
people Does he
guys.
have and are they on snow blowers? Are they on,
Sounds
You
like they
know.
got skid loaders, snow blowers, shovels.
no, but we pay extra for that stuff too.
So
Yeah.
will we sign a contract with him? Is that what we're talking about, or would he
We just
Yes.
approved his bid.
An estimate, yeah,
approve his estimate?
yeah. And the back of it shows the scope
I
of
saw
work,
that.
yeah.
But while I'm here throughout the day, I could try my best to,
Yeah, like steps, the
Yeah.
jail steps, the steps on the west side of the
Minimize how
building.
much you have to bring.
Keeping our entrance
Yeah.
clear so people trying to approach our building and come inside for business,
Put up gates.
aren't slipping and falling and
That's
things
right.
like that.
that'd be nice.
What's that, Kyle? Said if it don't snow, it don't cost us a dime.
So it keeps our,
Can't count on it though.
so we'll have to keep our own supply of salt.
Right, we always.
Yeah, there's plenty out there.
Yeah,
Good. Well, with that being the only bid, it's not like we're looking at apples to apples with other estimates and other companies. It
Who,
sounds
who
like.
did it last year? You did.
Bill's
Bill's-
landscaping
That's what I thought.
landscaping and nursery.
And I had talked to Chad too. He said it's very time consuming.
Well, and the other,
That's not what we want to
last
hear.
year we operated.
No, exactly, they're bidding hourly.
I'm guessing
I
that's
know, makes
maybe why
it
he
kinda
did,
scary.
a bit.
It's better to
Right.
have it in place now than still be thinking, and then he's filled up all the slots and we can't get anybody to come up because the safety of our citizens getting to the courthouse. It's, what do we got if we don't have anybody?
Does anybody know, I mean, did secondary roads used to do it all at one point in time or
I
never
have
did?
no idea,
I like that.
not since I've been
Not since
here.
you've
As
been.
long as my history with the
The
county, I don't
custodians
think
have
they've
done
ever done it, due to the fact that first they didn't have anything other than a big plow truck. And
Right.
Then they finally had, got a pickup with a plow on it, which, and usually if they're in the mood of plowing snow, they're usually opening highways and stuff of that nature.
Gotcha. Would you know what we spent last year to Phil's? For
Right.
the whole year?
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
This one invoice is $2,800,
I had one snow, didn't
but it was,
Yeah, we had a few
No.
blizzards.
yeah, we had blizzards.
Well,
This is the 9th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th, so this was about a week's worth of
Yep.
snow removal, $2,800.
We had a lot of snow, I think.
We did have a
We
lot
had
of snow,
to
actually.
close the courthouse so bad
Mhm.
last year, so.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't have that.
I would be in favor of having someone ready to go, because you
Yeah.
never know when that first.
No, that's a good
comes.
point.
I know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Don't want to be caught that, oh, I took too many customers, now we
Right.
can't take you.
Community will touch base throughout the day here.
And that
Yeah.
makes me feel better knowing that you guys
Yeah.
can coordinate.
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
would.
and if secondary roads assist with a couple of the big parking lots, that will definitely help.
I say we give it a try this year.
Well, we're operating custodial with one person this year.
rather
I
than-
think
Right,
last year, these were kind of, in the last 2 years, we hired additional help because of
medical.
medical stuff with
Yeah.
our employees.
Yeah,
So, I mean.
yeah.
Now your motion.
kind of the
I'll make a
same.
motion that we,
Vasquez Construction.
have an agreement with them for snow removal per the terms that they've laid out in their estimate.
Second. Motion by Gene, second by Ty. Any further discussion?
Yeah, it's like, we don't know how much snow we're gonna
That's
get. We
right.
might get, just to have somebody on board to go.
Right, right, and I would
Kinda
feel
makes
bad
me
if
feel
we
better.
waited
Right.
and waited, and then we couldn't get somebody and,
I think
there we
we'll
go.
Buy
No,
you a new
the community doesn't have
I
many
got
options,
plenty
so you're
to-
right, if you don't get on, it can be stuck.
But I think we need to kind of keep a running, close tab on this,
Worst
because
idea.
Oh,
sometimes
absolutely.
if we, start spending 20,000 a year, better on snow removal, we just will hire an employee.
Right. No, I
I'd
get
like to
it.
just get the hell out of that cell for.
I know, this is kind of an
Problem with that.
experimental
And I
year.
get it, yeah, this is.
Because Jeff stepped up, you know, immensely. He's been doing
Yeah,
a tremendous job.
Great
I don't
compliments.
think I've heard any negative about the work
I have
Jeff's
not
done.
either.
Did Kim have a chance, since you're here, to talk to you about that big ladder? Did she mention that to you, that she doesn't know what to do with it, so I.
Oh, that one over
Yeah,
there.
that
She-
says
we
Dr.
haven't
Cram
talked
on
about
it, yeah. We don't know what to do with it.
Silborn.
Got it.
Yep.
We'll never have a need for it. Big
Bring it
ladder.
here. Can it go in
It's a-
the,
Old wooden one.
oh, it's an old wooden one. Oh, if it doesn't meet OSHA standards, then
Right.
let's trash it. It's gone.
It's been sitting there. It's
Fire.
kind of, in my vision to get things just up and running and all the
Mhm.
stuff that doesn't need to be there out of the way.
Exactly.
Let's, we gotta vote quick.
Okay, sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Chair votes aye. Okay, now we can.
I'm sorry. I wanted to do it before you got up and left and not have to call you.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I'll touch base.
Yeah, yeah, just see what we can do with it. Take a look at it. If it needs to go to wherever, it could be a safety hazard sitting there in that landing, you know, just.
Well, yeah, and if it's a safety hazard to be
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
Period,
Says
then.
Dr. Cram.
So it's a safety hazard to sit there, and it's a safety hazard to use it, maybe we should get rid of
Rid of
it.
it. Yeah,
Sounds good.
exactly.
Looks
But I
like a
was
match.
just, I was
you
just
know.
over there and,
Doesn't somebody
Secretary,
have an old fire truck we could mount it on for parade?
For
Yeah.
aesthetic purposes.
Yeah,
You probably, you don't.
I have one. What's his name? Hanky has one that he used in this last week parade that's setting at high concrete right now. The flag's still on it, so I bet we could put a ladder on it. Yeah. Maybe if I just take the ladder and hang it there, he'll never notice it.
Never notice it.
Hint, hint.
I was over at the other building a little bit ago and the secretary over there told me that, the guys that is gonna do all the sewers and stuff, she thought they were coming today.
She did think, I should have included you on the email, sorry about that, it's detained another day, pushed back till tomorrow. So they'll do the city center building Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and they will come to the courthouse on Monday, November 3rd.
Okay.
Sorry about that, I should
No,
have
it's
included you on that email.
So,
And I tried to
No, I know.
include her, but I couldn't find her email, so I
right.
expected her administrator to do that. Hopefully she did.
all right, you guys done with me then?
Yep.
Very good.
Thanks,
Thank
Jeff.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yep.
Thanks,
Good
Jeff.
work. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Just have to think that.
Here in a second. Here you go. Oh, very well, quick. Very important.
Thank you. I know that's,
I want to think about snow.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was yucking about, snow.
I know.
You ready?
I'm born ready.
All right.
That was a new one. All right.
Whoa, sorry, Dave.
Discuss taking action appropriation department FY 25-26.
Emergency management,
This was in our packet,
yeah.
kind of had, Ty and I talked about this a little bit ahead of it, but this is that EMA.
That's in there, reserve.
So-
I don't know for sure what this is for.
This is
Spending authority.
Pending
the
approval.
spending authority.
Be able to put the money in Tyler. But we don't get to just do that. We need action of the board. I need documentation that more than just me, or it takes more than,
That commission doesn't satisfy that.
no,
So
it's not.
that money's already
They're only
there.
in charge of EMA, and this board is in charge of the budget
The money sitting in
and the
general
money
fund.
where it goes.
It's not general fund.
It's in their reserve.
Not all of it isn't. We have to move 300,000. We're gonna move the rest of the allotment that the county does, which is 200,000. And then we'll do 100,000 from the tower fund, which is in EMA's original budget to do. We're gonna move that, rest of that over into that fund to make sure that. And it would have eventually anyway. I mean, it would have moved
How
over
much is
there.
in total is in the EMA reserve fund now?
I don't know that answer.
Okay.
But it's
I can
not,
find out. It's not like they're lacking. Yeah,
it's budgeted money, it's spending.
It's budgeted
authority,
money.
It's already there.
Housekeeping
Yeah.
deal that just.
Yep.
This
housekeeping
was
for your
not-
record.
Paper
so
trail.
this is, I mean, this is extra that he is budget, the amendment is to allow him to spend more of his reserves. That's
In this budget year?
in this
than what
budget
he
year.
had budgeted,
Yes, yep.
that we approved.
Because if you look in the Tyler system, which is separate from state amendment budgeting, the Tyler system shows for towers was budgeted $175-ish $1,000, sorry. Let me say that again, $175,000 in this budget year. Yeah. and-
This is, last year was, they did send a bill last year for the 300.
Yeah, whatever it is, I don't know what
Because
it
they
is.
didn't finish their work at that point, so that was pushed over into this year.
So this will go toward, but like we talked, towers, the equipment and all that.
But the amendment is for 425,000, correct?
Tower project.
Yeah,
Tower project build out.
If they
Trying to get
budgeted
that
100
finished up. This will help pay that.
I'll get your little pen and paper out. So if we're doing it for 425,000, there's 175,000 that was budgeted. And so my question is,
There's 250 grand.
yeah,
Different.
is that part of that,
I don't know what the amendment was totally for.
We
I
can
wasn't
call him
at,
up here.
I wasn't at the meeting, so I
I
don't
He's
wasn't
have
already
any
talked to
idea.
Michelle about all this.
I know, but I'm the department head for the
No,
auditor's
I'm saying,
office.
we can call him up here, what I just said.
Well, we got questions, we just said, well.
well, is part of it for that trailer? Is that?
Well, part of it's gonna be for that trailer,
I
yeah.
don't know that answer.
I don't either. And I was told that that was all in the reserve. So now when I hear that it's, some of it's budgeted, some of it's.
Well, it
in
is, it's
reserve.
budgeted, so that revenue, the revenue coming from general supplemental, 400,000 was budgeted.
Okay,
the 100,000 coming from the tower fund, 100,000 revenue to EMA budgeted, that is budgeted. Those dollars are gonna be moved in the next claims run. They are budgeted dollars, they're not budgeted. We just can't move dollars into Tyler for expenditure without action of this
I
board.
get it.
Just like we don't make payroll changes of other departments without action of this board, even if there is another commission or committee that oversees. Public health has a board of health, conservation has. We still need, because you all are the purse string holders of the entire county.
We appreciate it. The only,
So
and I think
I
we're
need
good.
that, I need that
I-
clarification. in
I'm sure
my
from an auditing
department, So
standpoint.
they can't say, oh, Terry Martin's went haywire and money here, money there, money everywhere. You know, it's just a
An
little
oversight.
CYA action, I guess.
And I'm good.
That's what
as
I'm-
long as we haven't overspent in what we had budgeted and we're taking money from our general fund to.
Doesn't appear to be
supplement.
so.
Okay, I think we're good.
Doesn't appear to be so.
Need any more explanation? We just needed to clarify that. So I think we're good.
Okay, clarification.
Thank you. Everybody good?
Whatever's good,
It's a resolution.
entertain a motion to approve the appropriations.
There's one question for Ty. How will this wrap up our tower project then, or are we still gonna be a
Well,
little more yet to spend on?
I don't
Do you
know
know?
I don't know the answer to that. When Tim gave us his brief on the last EMA meeting. This will wrap up with that 100-some thousand for this year. So that wraps up the Raycom project, what was budgeted, and I thought that was everything. But now they're saying that there might be some internal componentry because, and I think the word's redundancy. When the towers were built, they're supposed to. There's two places that connect from the outlying towers that connect back to the Ridge Road Tower. But when it gets to Schleswig, its components are old enough that they don't communicate well with the new stuff. So we'd have to go up there and automatic and hand trip to get it to go bouncing back, so everything stays connected. That's
I remember that.
clear as mud for me.
Concern how many years ago that just the delay in the build was gonna
Yeah.
have some of the equipment.
And that's
could be
basically
antiquated
the
Before we
answer.
even get it.
The reason for this is the components don't all talk as well together as they should. I mean, just like your cell phone, as soon as you buy it, they tell you it's obsolete. You know, I mean, technology and componentry moves fast. So that's the answer. There might be some. And it's internal componentry. So actually I said to Zach, I said, is that something that 911 might help us with if it's stuff that keep for the communication? So it might be something that we talk to you about.
Okay.
You're bored.
No, that's fine. I was just kind of curious if we're gonna finally put the.
Well,
Staff on, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd love to be able to break a champagne bottle on a tower leg, but it's not like we're done quite there. I mean, as far as that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Otherwise, the towers are up and running,
Communicate.
they're communicating. The people are able to use their handhelds. I haven't heard of any complaints. You know, I mean, sounds like everything's working great. So the system's working as it was intended, the way it sounds. I did ask if Roger could send his deputies down into some of the holes and walk out with their handheld and just get a radio check, you know, we've talked about that, hopefully you remember. But, we talked about a lot of different things in that meeting, so there, I mean, hopefully it keeps the, he goes out there and that was one of the big concerns was, you know, like when Stan Spieth had his heart attack, and that was why he was a very big supporter in putting the tower up on his property, is he remembered that they had trouble talking in his house on their handheld and they had to relay through the ambulance, you know, and
Which ended up being a great spot.
what's that?
Ended up being a great spot.
Yeah, sure did. And, I don't know, there's still like, you know, if you get way down the southwest corner, way up in the northwest corner, you know, is there some holes that you?
Oh, sure there is. I mean, the standards. what,
Just you need to see how the
95%
handheld,
of the time.
95.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's always gonna be your
a spot.
This bonds.
But you know, you'd still like to see it even maybe take 5 steps up a hill and you got it,
Right,
you
and
know?
that might be all it takes.
Because them are the ones, the medical, I mean, fire, there's almost always a bunch of firemen show up. And so if their handhelds don't work down in the hole, having somebody, there's always a guy on the pumper, you know, relaying. There could be a time sensitive, but usually there's a little bit of time there. But, you know, if a deputy's out there alone, dismounted, or the ambulance is trying to talk to the hospital, boy, you really want them communication to be top shelf. So I think that's going on, right? Nobody's did the test and all.
I'm sure they'll be able to find a spot and know where.
I wish I'd get as many calls about how, yeah, it's working fantastic here now, it never did before, so I got, when is this gonna be done? But
Okay,
I need a motion.
You need a
We need a
I
motion.
know, we already had that.
thought you had that.
Nope,
Did not.
I'll make that motion to approve the resolution. Appropriation to department.
motion by Kyle,
second,
second by Ty. Any further discussion? Hearing none, it is a resolution. So Kyle?
All right.
Craig?
Aye.
Gene?
Aye.
Ty?
I,
Chair votes aye. Resolution passes. One quick thing for since then, put this in our packet with ISAC for that brief. I requested $500. Would you guys like that to be on the agenda next week?
Yes, please.
Yes.
On the agenda for next week. Have public for mental health.
I'm sorry.
For that, was it amicus
Oh, yeah,
brief? I
However
said,
you want to say it.
yeah,
I
here,
heard it both ways.
right,
But
What you talked about.
So we put on the agenda for next week.
that'd be great. I think we need to,
I do too.
Me too.
yeah, because it sounds like kind of need to get a hold of Andrea or Rachel and find out how much support we're getting out there.
I can reach out to them, but I think they've already had pretty good support.
Sounded like it at our last meeting.
So,
I just worry about some of the counties that don't think it involves now. Hopefully they got the message out properly. This isn't about pipeline, it's about
rural,
rural and eminent domain.
does that work there? You got that?
Yeah, I don't know if I know what you're talking about, but
The amicus,
was it in the,
Do
you have packet or no?
Yeah, it's in our packet
yeah, with the amicus report.
to be a part of their briefing,
Yeah.
the other side of the amicus brief.
It's on the back, read at the back of the Supreme Court. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the that. I second little Terry.
That's just, it's just a letter to show, sign on and show support for the home rule slash. Basically, the.
Well, just lets the court, I think, see that, hey, a lot of counties are interested in this. It's just not these couple of counties that are bringing this forward. But the lawsuit, they're not standing out there by themselves. They actually have other people that support.
And I think this is a better way that, I know, like, Linda and them grab you. And instead of just having a few counties try to do it on their own, at least they're using the resources of.
They will be doing their own brief.
Right,
The counties that are directly involved in the lawsuits, they're doing their own amicus.
this is another angle with, I think, a broader encompassing.
Yeah, and this would be a letter, this would be a support, and I believe that like the House is doing one of their own. At least certain members of the House, if not all of them. But I mean, they're trying to get letters of support across the state because it's about
Thank you.
being able to set our own rules and not have everything overridden and home rule in particular. And it's the eminent domain factor. I mean, I'm fine about the pipeline. I mean, I don't think you should have to put it on your property if you don't want it. I think that IUC should do a better job of working to help them find paths. I think that to me is the part that really troubles me in all this. Why aren't they working harder with these people to Summit, people like Summit, to find paths to make it happen where people aren't being objected? And then my other aspect in this is PHMSA really meeting the muster? Are they making muster with this? I mean, you know, when somebody talks about rolling right next to a schoolhouse, I mean, I wouldn't like a natural gas pipeline that had a lot, you know, a big major pipeline running right next to a school. That would trouble me somewhat. I'd like to know what kind of safety precautions we got. So it's no different for this. If they're gonna call it hazardous, I'd like it to be away from schools and hospitals. How's that?
We do currently, don't we? Don't we have one that runs right by the middle school?
That's my point, you know,
Natural
is
gas?
are them up to standard of what we would really like to see? I mean, that's my point. Is PHMSA doing what they need to do, and do they need help with the oversight on this from local government? You know, that's my question. So them are the big things that I'm concerned about, and I think that that's probably where you're gonna get most of your support from. Is from the other counties, is, you know, that aspect, and not so much that we shouldn't have pipelines, it's that they should be. The safety should be in the factor, but then don't overrule what we're doing out here. I mean, the Constitution was designed for the power to be out there where the folks are. It's easier for them to watch us, but it's also easier for us to watch what's going on. You get up in Des Moines, you're gone all week. Once I tried to explain this at our medical thing, when you get Des Moines, you're gone all week. Now, they do get back on the weekends. And so does a lot of our people from the Senate, or excuse me, from the, you know, national level, but I mean, they got answer to the whole state, so they've got a lot of people reaching at them. And so you're touch with the local aspect is limited. So that's why I think that the Constitution was intended to arrest most of the power that affects the people be with us down here at this level, city and county. Don't get me wrong, I don't think, but when they said that, well, they shouldn't have to meet all these different rules all the time, well, maybe they do need to. You know, I mean, there should be a parameters that we have to work within. I'm okay with that, but I think having approval in the county is important. You know, we know where we're developing or trying to. You know, I mean, rural development's it's a critical issue. The governor wants to maintain a 3% sales tax. Well, we're gonna have to have other ways to develop the county. And I'm not looking at just this pipeline. I don't make that clear. I mean, there's other things that might affect how we can develop areas in Crawford County. And I mean, I think that Summit's tried to really work hard to make sure that the Boyer River was never gonna be a problem. They went deeper and wider to get, I mean, they've met a lot of the standards that we personally asked them, and they didn't really have an obligation to. So I mean, that's gotta be considered as well. But I mean, that was nice, but we really didn't have any authority to make them do that. They did that voluntarily. So I think there should be some authority at this level, these types of things. And I think that that's what the Supreme Court can sort out. So if we're giving our support to this question, I really made a long-winded story, but hopefully you're all track.
I hope all 90.
My mind's going, there's a lot just bouncing around.
We want 99 counties to join in so that they're.
The
we're all-
bigger picture, in my eyes,
Yeah.
that you didn't touch on is if, just don't go check what's next.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of
that
open
one,
up
that's what I
Pandora's
that's what I
box.
mean. It ain't just this pipeline that's at stake here. I mean, it's whatever else, you're right. What's next?
This-
And there will always be something next.
Yeah, I mean,
Always.
to me, I'll just throw this out there. I would really like to see more development of energy. And we know that we're gonna need more energy in the future, and the windmills, I mean, they said, if all the energy's staying in Iowa, I mean, what we use is 60% of it is generated through wind turbines, if you do. I mean, we know that the grid takes it everywhere, you know, but so the turbines contribute to the energy consumption by a little bit. As time goes, and you know, Iowa's got places to put data centers, and we're putting them places. I mean, I'd like to see more development in that regard in our smaller rural communities to help offset property taxes, which is a big issue on the table. If we're getting property taxes or severance taxes from these other energy providers, that benefits us. You know, I mean, it benefits us to where we can reduce property taxes that way. So I mean, that's some of the other stuff, but do we want people having eminent domain to put in nuclear? I mean, no, but we do want to have the option to do those things. I think that we need to be thorough in our thought process and, you know, if we put in a nuclear, these mini nukes they call them. I mean, I think I've told most of you about Terry Wilbur, who's a county clerk, which is kind of like, I think, like his mayor works here. But, they've got a nuclear power plant. He said, I don't know what to do with all the money we make off that thing. Well, that just made me start to dislike him when he told me that. But, I mean, you stop and think about it, they've got their own batch plant. Sounds to me like most all their roads are paved. And now the counties around them, my people are on you got 3 paving crews. Cause they got money to do that. Well, that'd be fantastic. I mean, I think we probably have a few more roads than he does. I don't know. But, just think about that. I mean, these are the kind of things that would help rural line. I don't wanna take that to the White House next month. I've actually found out that there's somebody on the staff up there, that maybe they'll help us get in. Maybe not. It's a big ask there when you're getting in the White House. Okay, that's it. I'll shut up.
Okay. Anything before I go to citizen input? Anybody else? Citizen input, anybody on Zoom? Okay, hearing none.
Move we adjourn.
Thank you, Craig. Second by Gene. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Chair votes aye.
I would see